Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast, and thank you. So, at the beginning of this week, we start putting out more and more educational videos because I like it. I like economic theory. I like having a good foundation, and I think it's incredibly applicable when it comes to crypto, although it applies to effectively any investment market. So, I was trying to find a way to actually apply all this and apply it across three different types of investments so that we can better illustrate opportunity cost, explicit costs, implicit costs, and so forth. So we're going to run a little experiment. We're going to let this run about 90 days. Now, what I'm going to do is I've chosen three investments, and I'm going to put $1,000 even across all three of these investments, and these are very, very different investments. So I think it'll be a nice nice set for us to base this on, and we're going to see which ones perform better. That's it. So for my first investment that I chose on this one, because we are, believe it or not, more or less still an AMP channel, I chose AMP. So for the very first investment, we put $1,000 into AMP. So I'm tossing out the cents, doesn't really matter. Now, for it to be a fair test, I would have to stake the AMP and collect, I think, about 10% APY on something. So that's about maybe a 7% APR. I would have to stake it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it raw so that I can flip it if I happen to catch a little bit of a 5 or 6% pump. I can go ahead and dump it, wash it, come back in a little bit lower. And again, that's going to make it kind of a fair test. But I will also track it as if it was compounding it. I will track it as if I was staking it. I'll just show you the numbers on that one. So that's our first investment, and that's what we're going to be dropping in. I don't consider AMP a particularly good investment right now. The opportunity costs are entirely too high to hold this particular token, which is why it's perfect, absolutely perfect for what we are doing here. Now, my second investment that I'm choosing is we are going to be putting $1,000 into USDC Osmo liquidity pool. I've covered these a lot. And I get a lot of pushback on these because anytime you see a high APR, well, it must be scammy. It's not really in this case because of the way that these tokens are utilized. So let's go ahead and illustrate it. Now, I want to try to make this educational as well, more or less. So I had started with the Atom sitting right here in my Kepler wallet, and I deposited it over here onto Osmosis if anybody wants to play along with me. So all you do is come over to app.osmosis.zone, hit that little deposit button, and it's going to reflect right here whatever you happen to have right here. And as you can see, we have 0.094250, and it says we can import 0.094250. So I already did the import on here, but I wanted to show you in case you wanted to see it. So now we have to break it up. Now, the reason I put in an extra couple bucks is because there is going to be a swap fee involved with this, and I want it to be as fair as I can. So we're going to swap half of our Atom. That's 43 Atom. We're going to swap half of it for Osmo. You can see I'm already going to lose a dollar or so on the swap fee. It doesn't put cents in there, but there will be a little bit of cents. So we're going to go ahead and approve it. And in this case, I'm going to do it as cheaply as I can. So we're going to make the swap right here. And as soon as this comes through, then we're going to have a bunch of Osmo is going to show up right here. Now, this is the epoch cycle, the epoch time on the on the Osmosis DEX. So I could not have picked a worse time to make this video because usually these transactions go through very fast, but they're not going to here because they're using all their computing power right now. So there is our Osmo. That's half of our investment, and the other half is going to be USDC Axelar. So we're going to go ahead and max it out, and you can see that we're going to lose another couple dollars on the swap fees. There's always going to be swap fees, whether you're doing it on a central exchange or you're doing it here. There are always going to be swap fees, and we'll go ahead and pay the very small amount of gas so I can maybe hurry up this transaction just a little bit. So we're not quite at $1,000, but you know what? We're close enough. I'm gonna call it good, close enough and good enough that for this example, and again, over 90 days, I don't think a couple dollars is really gonna matter. So after we've made our swaps, and we did, we're gonna be looking for this pool right here. This is USDC Osmo. So we have our tokens. You can see them right there. So we're going to add and remove the liquidity. Now, I'm not going to max out the Osmo. I like to keep a little bit for gas. So we're going to go 429.8, 8, and you're going to see what our total is. And again, it'll be close enough for government work. We're down maybe $5 after making the entire transaction of $1,000. This is with multiple stops along the way. I still consider it just amazingly cheap. Smaller. I didn't do that right. Hang on. Let's just round all this stuff off completely. So for the Osmo, I can't do, let's just call it 429 even. We'll call the USDC 494 because I don't want to get jammed up again. 427, there you go. Again, close enough for the example that we're trying to do here. And I'll round it out after the video is in. So we have $990 in here. I have a little bit of dust left over. I will round it out after the video. Once it's in, we're going to start earning this. Now we're going to lock this in here for 79% because we're also going to superfluid stake. So we're going to go max. We're going to go next. It's going to ask me to pick a validator. I don't really care which one. We're going to go with Reverie. And we're going to bond it, and we're going to stake it, and we're going to be off and running. So for this pool right here, I'm already down $10 versus the AMP, but I had to round the AMP up as well. Again, I'll clean it up after the video, but there's the point I'm making. Now, the reason that I'm getting into this pool, because I consider this one extremely, very, very stable for a high APR pool. It is amazingly stable. Huge amount of liquidity sitting here. It's not running away. And it gets the highest amount of swap fees of any other pool that exists over here on Osmosis DEX. And swap fees, I'm a big fan of swap fees because swap fees goes to the poolers, and I'm one of the poolers. So it's not only that, but I'm also getting paid out in Osmosis, which will show up over here once a day. So I'm going to turn that APR into an APY. So that 83, 84% that I'm getting, or 81% that I'm getting, is actually going to be about 115, 116% APY. So this is my second pool now, or my second investment. Now I'm not adding to it. You can track the wallet. You can see whatever's coming in, whatever's coming out. But we're just going to let this one run for 90 days, and we're going to see where it ends up, regardless of what that number changes to. So this is the more stable investment out of these three. I think this one's going to do well. So our third, we are going to be going over here with Crescent. There's one particular pool that I'm interested in over here, and this is a completely wild card, swing away, what the hell are you thinking type of investment. And in this case, it's going to be Gravity Bridge and bCRE, because I like 200% on a pure swing away. That's what this one is. This is one of those crazy ones. My God, how can they sustain it? It's heavily incentivized. That's how they can sustain it. It's heavily incentivized by Gravity Bridge themselves. But I thought, let's throw 1,000 in there, and we're going to see how all of these run together, particularly one that is pulling down those kind of APRs. So for us to get over here, I already imported the Atom, but if you wanted to, you would come over here, you would hit find Atom, you would hit deposit. It's going to read your wallet, same as everything else, see how much Atom is in there. You type in how much you want, hit enter, and off it goes, and it ends up over on the DEX. So we're going to go ahead and straight swap it. Now, there's a really nifty feature over here on Crescent that makes it really, really easy for you to balance your stakes without having to get nuts. So we're going to swap all of the Atom for bCRE. This is the derivative of Crescent. So we're going to put 85.8 even. We'll call it, look, $1,000, and we're going to lose 50 cents on the transaction. That's a swap fee, so we're still good enough and close enough. Go ahead and approve it, and it's going to be making the swap right now. Now, for you to make any kind of transactions over here, you need Crescent. You're going to need Crescent. That's the native token of Crescent. Go figure. So once that's up, we made the swap. If I come back over here to portfolio, you're going to see all of that bCRE right there, and it costs us about 30 cents to go ahead and make this transaction. So now we're going to come over here. We're going to go to farm. We're going to find the one that I'm interested in, and here's the fun little button up there. You see that one that says maximize deposit? Even though I only have one side of this, I can go ahead and get it done anyway, just with a simple swap just like that. Maximize the deposit. It's going to break half the bCRE, and it's going to break it into Gravity Bridge. We're going to hit the swap. We're going to pay the gas fee. Again, a very, very small gas fee, and off it goes. Now, I have to do this one twice because this is not a balanced pool. It is not a perfect 50-50 pool. It's a weighted pool. So I'm going to have to do this twice if I want to get all the money in there. But once we made that swap, we go ahead and deposit it, pay the gas fee again. 0.005 CRE breaks out to about 0.00001 penny. What I'm saying is it's not a lot of money. So we'll go ahead and push that on up there. And now I'm going to do it again because after this is done, I'm still going to have Gravity Bridge and bCRE left, and I want to make sure I get it all in there. So we're going to maximize the deposit one more time to get the last little crumbs out of this thing here. And same thing, pay the gas. Off it goes. Once it's in, there's no exciting way to do it. And again, guys, I don't edit videos. You get what you get. And we're going to push that one all in there also. And once it's in, you see that little red light that shows up there on farm. That's telling us that you're ready to farm. So we're at $979.93. I still have more that I have to break down. I will do it after the video. Just know that this will be at or near $1,000. I just don't want to have to keep doing this over and over, and I don't want to personally do the math. I'd rather let the decks do it. So this money is now up. It is rolling. I'll balance out the rest of it after the video because I want a fair shake on all of them. And there we go. So you guys see that I got that money sitting there cooking away, and you can see the percentage that I'm getting for it. So this is going to round out to a little bit over 200% on an absolute wild card. So we'll see how it goes. This is investment number 3. This is the wild card, and believe it or not, this is the one I expect to be most profitable after 90 days. My stablest is sitting right here, and this is USDC Osmo over on Osmosis Dex. And my third, the one I expect to actually perform the worst, is right here. So we have AMP $1,000 worth of AMP sitting over here on Coinbase. Let's track them. Let's have some fun. And let's see how all of these do. I am not adding, changing, amending any of these investments. I put them in the way that you saw them. You can track my wallets personally, and we will see how they do. So as I get closer to retirement, I'm trying to have a little bit more fun with this, and I think this is a fun and engaging way to do it. I apologize for the length of the video. After this going forward, we will just do a summary once a week. You can see how it is, where it is, and what's going on with each and every investment. So place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see which one is going to be performing better in 90 days' time. That's what we're looking for. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, Scott@thepodcast.com. I love to get emails, and I love to answer them. If you guys want to speculate on how this is going to go, comments below. I'd be interested in seeing what everybody's viewpoint is on this. But that's it. I think this is the fairest test that I could do for simulating opportunity costs. So we're going to go ahead and run with this one. Until next time, please stay safe. Please be smart with your money. Cheers.